How's it going, everyone? It's Milwaukee coming back at you once again, and today we're going to be discussing Darth Vader, End of Games by Kieran Gillen, with art by Salvador LaRocca. Let's get into it. Starts off with issue 20, where Darth Vader ties up loose ends. There'll be a little short story where Triple Zero and BT, the two murderous droids, they get some upgrades because they're on the hunt for Dr. Aphra. In issue 21, Darth Vader's hunt for his main rival, Silo, commences. Meanwhile, Dr. Aphra and the two droids reunite. Issue 22, Darth Vader takes out yet another rival. Meanwhile, Dr. Aphra makes the gamble of her life. Issue number 23, Darth Vader and Silo have their big standoff. Issue 24, Darth Vader, finally, after all these years, comes to terms with who and what he is. Final issue of the series, issue 25. Can Dr. Aphra play the Emperor versus Darth Vader and somehow come out alive? Well, you're just going to have to read to find out. Well, something tells me that because she got her own series following this, she just might live. Who knows? You know, this volume, pretty short, pretty to the point. It's all been leading to this since issue 1. You know, when we first get introduced to Silo and his group of rivals for the Emperor's favor, you knew Darth Vader was going to be the one coming out on top because he has to, right? Silo's not in Empire Strikes Back. Silo's not in Return of the Jedi. No, it's Darth Vader. So that whole storyline didn't really have any real, tension or whatever. You knew Vader was going to win, so it was all just about Vader carving these guys up like turkey. In each volume, he would eliminate a rival, and eliminate a rival, and eliminate a rival, all while being investigated by the Empire. And he would thwart that too, a little misdirection here, using the Force there, killing this guy here, planting evidence on that guy there. But it was a pretty fun ride, all things considered. I feel as though the conclusion was a good conclusion. It was really the only conclusion that, it could come to. But, the Emperor is pleased with Darth Vader. He doesn't mind that Darth Vader was waging a secret war against the Empire from within the Empire. You know why? Because that's just what Sith Lords do. And it's what he expected of Darth Vader the whole time. So all's well that ends well. What are you going to do? Over the course of this volume and the series as a whole, Darth Vader was depicted as a ruthless, unstoppable monster. This is Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. It seems like ever since Revenge of the Sith came out back in 2005, Darth Vader has been getting his ass whooped left, right, and center. Just because he can have battle damage all over his body and it looks cool, doesn't mean he should have battle damage all over his body in every encounter, especially when he's fighting weaklings. So I really appreciated that throughout this series, Darth Vader never really gets a scratch on him. He avoids multiple death traps. He has knockdown, drag-out fights with everybody from Luke Skywalker to Princess Leia to Silo. He takes on the whole rebellion single-handedly and Vader down. He's just an unstoppable brute, and he always comes out on top. I love the depiction of Darth Vader as portrayed in this series, and in particular in this volume, here while he's finally, tying up loose ends and getting back in the Emperor's favor. Dr. Aphra, she's back in action in this volume after being absent in the last volume. And she, like I said, she makes the gamble of her life. She plays the Emperor against Vader, thinking that if she gets on the Emperor's good favor, he'll save her from Vader's wrath. Well, she may or may not have been correct in that, but, her addition in this series, she becomes like a fan favorite character. Like I said, she gets her own spin-off series. There's not a lot bad I could say about the Dr. Aphra character. Sure, she's a double-crosser. Sure, she's a sneak and a liar and a thief. But it's fun, and it really brought something to the series here, and that's why she became like a fan-favorite character. Also, the two murderous droids, the evil counterparts of C-3PO and R2-D2, if you will, Triple Zero and BT, their antics are always fun here, and they play a major role in this finale. You're just going to have to read to find out what they did. And like I said, clever writing here by Kieran, and made for an overall enjoyable series. The only real negative I could say is that it's over. It seems like it's ending right when it's just sort of beginning. Darth Vader, he overcomes all these obstacles, and you wonder what happens next, and you're just going to get nothing. There is another Darth Vader series after this called Darth Vader, like was it Dark Lord of the Sith, written by Charles Soule, but it's set after Revenge of the Sith. And I guess maybe we'll have to see what Darth Vader's up to next in the Star Wars main title. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Darth Vader End of Games a 5 out of 5. Yes, it's predictable, but it's predictable in the best way. It's Darth Vader being Darth Vader at the height of his power, destroying everybody in his path, coming out on top. This is a Darth Vader we all fell in love with, well, whenever you first saw the original trilogy. I wasn't there in 77. But in 97, when I was first introduced to Star Wars, Darth Vader was always my favorite character. I questioned whether I would want to read a Darth Vader series, and I'm glad I did. Like I said, pretty good stuff. You can't go wrong here. Until next time, I'll see you there.